okay. I know life has been incredibly stressful for you as of late. Life as a young adult. There's pressure. We're gonna start here. I know. It's okay. Look, there's no need to tell me anything. I'll just speak some words to your ears. Because you've been feeling that way, I wrote you a little something. But it's gonna be fun, okay? So just relax. Close your eyes. Advice for you, my young adult that is trying to figure out life. Your life is not a performance. It might be presented as such, and it might feel like it needs to be one sometimes. Maybe your parents or someone you looked up to suggested that you become a certain person, a certain character, have a certain impact on society that they wish they had. But instead, rely on you to achieve. You know, life works like a triangle. In one end, you have your health, on the other, you have your wealth, and on the last, you have your relationships. Everything else is a subcategory of one of these three crucial parts of your life. And when you are in a situation where you work to improve all of these aspects at once on multiple levels, it is okay to not be progressing exactly how someone else is. And it is okay to have different results compared to different people. And I know this makes logical sense, but sometimes we get emotionally invested in our future and we forget that we are on our own timeline and that we are unstoppable. Really. Okay? My advice to you is that you must understand why each of these elements matter. Why does your health matters to you? Why does your wealth matters to you? And why does your relationships matter to you and no one else? We can just say, well, that's life. That's how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be healthy. You're supposed to be wealthy. You're supposed to have good relationships. But make it personal. Make your life about you. Because everything that you need is within yourself. Okay. So, that's the first block that I want to drill into your head, okay? When you receive an advice that tries to give you an outcome, understand that this person is projecting to you. More often than not, that's what they want. Because truly, what you do out of your life is none of my concern. is none of my business. It is your responsibility to figure that out. And I don't have the answers for you, but you have the answers for yourself. Okay? Good. My advice here is that you create the answers for yourself as soon as you have enough experience to back them up. Stop looking for answers that have already been found by other people. Make sure that you want in life what comes from a place of personal, true desire that is backed with real feelings and real reasons. Not just because this girl is doing this, this other guy is doing this, I should be doing this, my parents want me to be doing this. So that is my first advice. Build your own advice for yourself. Okay? Don't be too impressed by other people. Start to be impressed by yourself and support your success with people that have the same mentality for themselves and for you as well. Thank you. Yes, I usually just speak directly to you and we freestyle everything, but today I really felt like giving you something that I cooked, okay? Something that took some time to come together so that it is the best advice possible for you. You, not me. You. The second advice I'd like to give you is that your relationships are a huge part of your growth. And sometimes, some of them are meant to be brief. You'll know when some relationships will last forever because they're not just based on feelings. They are backed with actions. They are backed with intentions. They are backed with security, planning, and everything that's needed to succeed. You don't pull out of a project just because you lose motivation or you lose passion. Dedication comes from a place of choice. And when you feel good about someone, it's amazing. Tap into it. But don't just rely on that feeling to know if someone is meant to stay in your life. As a lot of relationships will be brief, but they will bring you growth. Think about doing a presentation at university or presenting a project at your job. There needs to be preparation. There needs to be an end goal. Why are we doing this? What is the message we want to convey? And in our relationships, it's more or less the same. The more you know why you are getting in relationships, the more fulfilling they will become. And the more long-lasting they will be. And this is why when you get with someone just to be with someone, usually that is a reason that is temporary. Because one day you will need to understand who you are on your own and build that confidence without that person that gave you a lot of it prior. And that is for romantic relationships, because most of the time friendships are usually more spontaneous and we generally just are meeting the need to be social, Maybe we share a passion with that person. It doesn't need to be a life partner, like in a romantic relationship. And that's perfect. You don't need to be the perfect friend, the perfect son, the perfect daughter, the perfect kid, to be the perfect employee, CEO, and friend to yourself too. These things happen gradually, and it is okay for you to severely suffer in one of these areas or many of these areas for as long as you need, as the point of life is to master this. So if you are not having perfect relationships, if you're not having perfect friendships, if you're not like the perfect CEO, the boss, don't be discouraged. It means that your life will be meaningful and mean something, as the purpose of life is to make sense of all of this and to become that balanced individual. But it is not possible for you to be that from the get-go, okay? So remove that pressure, please, off both shoulders. 1, 2, and 3, if you have an extra shoulder to remove pressure off. The point of life is to figure out life, and you're not supposed to have it all figured out at 20 or 25. The rest would be boring. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer than 25 years. But today we're making this about you being a young adult. We tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves because everybody seems to be doing better and everybody seems to be having their life together. And we look at us thinking, what's wrong with me? Seriously, like, how come I don't know, but they know? Am I dumb? Did I miss the boat? Is there something wrong with me? And these are valid questions, but I don't think they are reflecting the truth. Okay? They're mostly how you feel. It's your emotions, but in reality, you're on your way. You're on your path, okay? That's what I thought. While everybody seems to be having their life together, remember that looking like you have your life together is very different from having your life together. And people that really have their life together usually are too busy enjoying it, living through it, incorporating people into it, creating experiences for themselves and their loved ones, to be telling you exactly who to be, how to be it, and to a T. Like, dress this way, talk this way, become this person, change your whole identity. You're not enough. Be more outgoing, be more confident. Those are their personal issues. They are projecting to you. Be mindful. Because yes, sometimes there are interesting parts to these conversations. But be mindful not to become a copy of someone else that is trying to convince you that they're the original. I'm not saying to ignore or be overly suspicious, but just be mindful. After all, I am giving you advice right now. But I hope you can see that I am opening doors for you to use your own mind to get to the answers. I am not showing you the path because yours will be different from mine. And I don't think that you aspire to have the life that I live or to be who I am. My duty is to give you the tools that have helped me tremendously to shape who I am. I'm giving you the tools. I'm not giving you the step-by-step process on how to recreate who I am. I hope this is clear. You might be asking, why would I need to be mindful? Well, because a lot of people lie. And why would someone lie about their life or their living situations? Well, there's a variety of reasons. 21% of people lie to avoid others. 2% as a form of humor, like a joke or a prank. 14% to protect themselves. 13% to impress or appear more favorable. And 11% to protect another person. While 9% of people lie from benefit or gain, 5% do for the benefit of another person. 2% of people lie to hurt another person, and 5% on reasons that are unspecified or close to no reason at all. How often do people lie? On average, people tell 0 to 2 lies per day, but it would be fair to assume that it's ranking up and more than that, basically, because people could be lying answering these surveys, essentially. But we can question how honest people are, and those are just stats that I'm telling you just so you get an idea that lying is more common than we think. And a lot of the time, people lie to look better and to gain more. Lying seems to comprise overall around 7% of total communication, and almost 90% of all lies are little white lies. 79% of the lies were told face to face, and 21% of lies are meditated. People tend to lie mostly to their friends, their family, school, business, from most to less. Around 11.4% are characterized as big lies, but people mainly tell white lies. An example of a white lie is saying that you like a gift when you really don't. And an example of a big lie would be declaring insincerely, "I love you," to someone. When you're saying, "I like my life," when you really don't, it's just about you. You like the life that you live. You're not really saying something that's going to hurt the person who's receiving the information per se. However, when you pretend that you like the life that you live, you do that so you feel better about yourself. And so it is a little white lie, surprisingly, a very common one. Another one that we often hear is, "Yes, I'm fine." But in reality, we want to avoid being a burden, or we're trying to avoid communicating how we feel because we've been conditioned to understand social interactions as a transaction. And a transaction goes faster if there's no bumps in the road. Yes, I'm fine. It's not a big deal. When you're talking to your boss, colleagues, acquaintances, I understand. You're trying to make it smooth, and that's honorable. But make sure that you have at least one person in your life with who you can be honest. with who you can be unfiltered, with who you can say what's on your heart just for the sake of letting it out. Okay? My next advice to you is to always take what people say with a grain of salt and don't drink the poison. The poison of believing everything. I know you might be a good person. You have a big heart. You want to believe other people because you are honest. But that's just sadly not how life works. You might be very sincere, honest, caring, but it is not because you are that everybody else is. And so that is another little advice here. Take what people say about their life, where they are at, what they want, how happy they are with themselves, especially if you didn't ask for it. Like if someone constantly tells you how happy they are, I love my life, wow, amazing. Aren't you too busy feeling so good and doing other things and being in the flow of life, you know? And so I want you to keep your successes to yourself. Keep important decisions mostly to yourself or that one or two person you really trust. Ask as little advice as possible on things that you already know the answers. Not on things that you don't know. Of course, we need each other. But on things that you know that you already have the answers in your heart, don't ask for advice. You are delaying something that's meant to happen. If you need advice on financial decisions, of course, you are not going to ask your friend that doesn't know anything about finances on it. You're going to go and talk with someone that is a financial expert. You're going to go to someone competent who's able to help and who objectively has better insight. And that one thing is important for you to be informed about. However, asking people, what should I text? What should I wear? How should I say to them that I love them? Is it too early to tell that person that I love them? What should I do in life? Should I tell this person that I love them? How should I tell them that I love them? What should I text them? How should I answer to this? Are all answers you have within yourself. Deep down, you have all the answers within yourself. And it is important that you trust yourself as soon as possible and that you act in a complete integrity and acceptance as soon as possible. As then the interactions and the reactions you encounter truly shape you, the person, as the best one you will become. How can you work on something if you keep avoiding it? You keep asking for advice. You keep asking that friend to tell you the answers. You don't cheat. You can't cheat yourself. Don't try to approach situations as what you should be, or how nice you should be, how desirable you should be, or what do people think and what's best to do based on their thoughts. Live your life for yourself as soon as possible. ASAP. Fast, fast, fast. Be willing to make as many mistakes as possible. We tend to say in business that making mistakes is honorable. It means that you're trying and it's good for you in your quest to success. By pushing, you will eventually become successful. But when it comes to your relationships, you must have the same rational approach. Think about it. If you want a meaningful relationship, it's going to take time. It is simply going to take time. If you're after a serious relationship, you want to find the one. Good luck finding the one in 7.9 billion others. It's going to take time. It's going to need you to push. And this is why you must have strong boundaries when you get in a relationship. And this is going to be another conversation completely because it's going to take 30 minutes. But let me get back to what I wrote to you. Now, how likely is it that you go on a random date once and find the love of your life and have a solid relationship that never fails? Do you know how likely that is? It's very unlikely. So you will need to try again, just like in business, and it is honorable to try. It is okay to try until you feel amazing. You must reduce your expectations when you go on a date. And when you reduce your expectations, but you have high standards, which I have a video about, I'm going to link it down below. Expectations versus standards, how to navigate them, and how to create your strong standards, your boundaries, and be that unstoppable force. It's going to be linked in the description below. It's 20 minutes. I actually wrote that in my text, so it's 20 minutes long. Go watch it. It's a good one. If you live like that and you expect your dates to suck, because most people are not going to want something serious, most people won't know how to treat you, most people won't be even thinking about their future. Not because you're not worthy of it, but because they simply are not capable to. When you understand that it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them, it is easier to navigate rejection and to quit on things and people that are not beneficial to your journey. Finally, it's really okay to feel confused, to not have it figured out. And it's honorable to be humble about it and to not try to convince ourselves or other people that we are something we're not, just because we are repeating the cycle that is stressing us. When we're doing that, we are becoming the same stressful person that we have all up in our ears telling us that they are so happy, they are so successful. You know, keep your successes to yourself, keep your happiness to yourself, and show to people how it feels instead of yapping about it. And I assure you that life will most likely remain confusing, but giving up is not an option. You are here for a reason. And I want to look at you dead in the eyes for this part specifically. I'll stop reading. Okay? Giving up is not an option. You're here for a reason. Maybe you don't know what that reason is yet, but giving up is not an option. You're here for a reason. Take as long as you need to find out what that reason is. I don't care. If it only comes in 50 years, it will come in 50 years. As long as you are actively trying to figure out why your health matters to you, why should your health matter to you, why should your wealth, your relationships matter to you, what do you really need? And that you come from a place of self-interest. Be a little selfish. If you need time, make it hot. Don't look at yourself down for taking a little more time to cook. It's okay. You just need to marinate a little bit longer so you're extremely tasty. I know that was not a very good example. That was not funny at all. Matter of fact, that was really unfunny and questionable. But you know what else is questionable? Everything. So make sure that you question a lot of things. And that you honor yourself in your humanity. I love you. I hope this helped. And I wish you exactly what you deserve.